Swing and a miss, fouled away by Taylor Beal. Beal, the shortstop, one of the leaders of this Arizona program. Her 4th year as an impact player, a starter since early in the 2024 season. If Taylor Beal starts both games today, which is likely as that throw goes down to first, not in time. Ball squirrels away from Jackie Liss, but Langi Quiroga with a strike down there to first base to try and catch Reagan Shockey leaning. If Taylor Beal starts both games today, which would be the expectation, one of their very best players, tonight's game or later this afternoon's game is scheduled for a 2 o'clock start, will be her 150th start as an Arizona Wildcat. Chases after the high heat away, and it's a 1-2 count.
At the plate, number 21, Sydney Stewart.
A 12-game streak reaching base for Beal coming into today, including her work yesterday at the plate for the Wildcats. Running on the pitch, good pick, and as a matter of fact, it gets away from the shortstop Haley Toney, but backed up well by Maya Davis. A stolen base for Reagan Shockey with 1 out in the inning, and now a 2-2 count to Taylor Beal. So an opportunity here in the first for Arizona with a runner at second and just 1 out. And Beal with 2 strikes, showed bunt, now pulls back and swings away and swings through it for strike 3. Back-to-back Ks for Caitlin Terry.
Now at the plate, number 21, Sydney Stewart.
And the big bat of Sydney Stewart takes strike 1 on the inside corner. Stewart, the reigning Big 12 Player of the Week, had a couple of homers a week ago, an OPS of 2.533 last week in earning that honor. Stewart starting behind the plate today. If she's not starting at catcher, they will have her DP quite regularly or get her in the lineup however they can. 53 of her 60 starts a year ago, though, came behind the plate. That is her primary location for sure. The transfer from Washington hit 20 homers a year ago. The 1-2 with 2 outs in the inning. In the dirt, ball 2. Stewart already with 8 homers on the year this season. And waiting on deck is Grace Jenkins, who hit a pair of bombs yesterday. The 2-2. Swung on and lifted deep to right. Going back on it is Desi Spearman to the wall. It's gone. A 2-run homer from Sydney Stewart, her 9th of the year, and Arizona strikes first. Good piece of hitting on the outside corner of the plate. Going away with it is Sydney Stewart. Opposite field, 2-run homer, 2-0 Arizona, a day after a 9-0 win here in Lubbock. A strike to Grace Jenkins to start the AB for the senior from California that had such a marvelous Friday here. Now sends this one to the right side, a chopper to Mia Williams, and that will retire the side, but not before Sydney Stewart puts Arizona out in front, 2-0 after the top of the first on a 2-run blast from the catcher. The Texas Tech lineup. that finds itself in a 2-0 hole already before they can come to the plate. Maya Davis, as per usual, atop the lineup for Jerry Glasgow's team. Caitlin Terry, Mia Williams due up here in the first as well. Jazzy Burns, the DP today, as she starts to heat herself up over the course of this season. This is a lineup that will change, that will morph through the year as players get hot, cool down. There's a ton of depth, and Jerry Glasgow certainly willing to maneuver however necessary with whoever's hot and whoever needs a day or two to get back in the right headspace. He will massage quite a bit through the season. But today's lineup, as dangerous as it's been all season long for this team, but again, finding themselves in a 2-0 hole after losing yesterday 9-0 to this Arizona team in a 5-inning run ruling. Davis right to the third baseman, Jenna Sniffen, and there's one away. Hit hard, but right at a Wildcat.
Batting for the Red Raiders, number 55,
Riley Holder pitching today for Arizona. The true freshman out of East Bernard High School in Fulshear, Texas. Comes in with a ton of promise. Pitched against Stanford a couple weeks ago. 6 innings, gave up just 1 run. She was a part of D1 Softball's freshman watch list, their D100 list preseason. And for good reason. She has shown just how talented she is so far this season. 7-1 on the year. Came in with 42 innings pitched over the course of that stretch. This one's lifted deep to left. Going back is Duke, and it's gone. And Caitlin Terry helps herself out. A solo shot to give Texas Tech their first run of this series. This one just continued to carry. Into the netting there behind that left field wall. Right over top of the Big 12 tournament champion sign from a season ago. And it's 2-1. Chopped foul by Mia Williams. So Texas Tech has broken the seal here in this series after a 9-0 shutout loss a day ago. In there for strike 2. Arizona comes in the number 12 team in the ESPN.com USA softball rankings. Preseason pick to finish 3rd in the Big 12. Chopped foul by Williams. Arizona and Arizona State were tied for that 3rd place pick in the preseason Big 12 poll. Texas Tech picked preseason to win it, a unanimous selection. Oklahoma State was picked to finish 2nd. Based on what we have seen through the first month or so of the season, the results would indicate that these are perhaps the top 2 teams in the conference. Still a lot of play still to be taken care of the balance of the season, of course, and Oklahoma State, Arizona State, Utah, certainly some other teams will have a voice in that conversation, but based on what we've seen thus far in 2026, these appear to be the top 2 teams in the Big 12, which makes this series so very important. That does catch the outside corner of the plate, and it's strike 3 looking to Mia Williams. Gil Zayas, the home plate umpire today. Sean Schumacher, Cameron Ellison at first base and third base, respectively. Williams knew it right away. And Jazzy Burns, the DP, will step in with 2 retired here in the bottom of the first. Low for ball 1. Arizona swept BYU last weekend. All 3 of those wins coming in run rule fashion. Two 2-0 to Burns. 3 have missed now from the freshman Riley Holder. And Mia Williams, I beg your pardon, Jazzy Burns way out in front here. Maya Davis, a quick line out. Caitlin Terry hit a solo shot. That is right down the middle for strike 1 to Burns, taking all the way. Davis the line out, Terry the solo homer. Mia Williams struck out looking. So now Burns with a 3-1 count and 2 away in the bottom of the first. Chopped right back to Riley Holder, and that will retire the side. The first inning sees home runs from both teams. A 2-run homer from Sydney Stewart for Arizona. A solo shot for the Texas Tech pitcher today, Caitlin Terry. And it's 2-1 after 1. Here at Rocky Johnson for the top 2 teams in the conference. Oklahoma State, rather shockingly, off to a 1-3 start to conference play this year. UCF 3-1. Tied with Texas Tech in the standings. Arizona, the only 4-0 team in the conference. Utah stands at 3-0. Utah was a team that Jerry Glasgow spoke about earlier this week, said he was very impressed with how they have started the season, not just in conference play, but in general. A big step forward for the Utes here in 2026. They were a good team a year ago. 23-6, though, this season overall, as that one's fouled straight back by Anissa Wild. Behind 0-2 here against Terry. Wild hit a solo shot yesterday, immediately following Grace Jenkins' 3-run homer in the third. Part of a 5-run third inning for the Wildcats to take control of that one. Fouled off again, and Caitlin Terry has already thrown 24 pitches through just a little over an inning worth of work. UCF 3-1, Baylor 3-1. Tied with Texas Tech at 3-1 for third in the conference standings as of right now. That one didn't miss by much, and a couple dozen umpires behind Gil Zayas disagreeing with him, saying that that was ball 1. Chop to the left side, will get past the dive of Haley Toney and into left field. And it's a leadoff single for Anissa Wild. Good work from the Wildcat DP to battle back after falling behind 0-2. Gets herself on board, and for the second straight inning, Arizona's got a leadoff single. Jenna Sniffen will step in now. Sniffen, the sophomore, a unanimous all Big 12 freshman team honoree a season ago.
Wildcats, number 33, Jenna Sniffen.
Started all 61 games last year, all but 1 game this season. Lays down the bunt, may have been caught. They say no, it was not caught. As Terry fires to first, it will merely be a 1-3 putout. Terry got very close to hauling that in and could have doubled off Anissa Wild at first base, but it does catch the turf. Get another look at it here.
For the Wildcats, number 29, Kiki Escobar.
Ooh, it's very, very close, but all over it was Gil Zayas. He had a better look at it than anybody. It was directly in front of him. And there wasn't much argument from Caitlin Terry either. 1 away in the inning on the sacrifice bunt from Sniffen. And Wild stands on second. Quickly ahead, 0-2 is Caitlin Terry against Kiki Escobar. And that is just low for ball 1. Escobar hitting .292 on the year. This Arizona batting order is littered with lofty batting averages. The 1-2 outside for ball 2. Reagan Shockey at .438. Serenity Trice hitting .531. Taylor Beal at .411. Sydney Stewart just shy of the 400 mark at .397. Grace Jenkins hitting .349. A terrific lineup for head coach Caitlin Lowe. Lowe knows a thing or two about hitting at an elite level. One of the great Wildcat players ever. Had an illustrious professional career as well before coming back to Arizona as an assistant coach. That one's going to bloop in for a single. They will hold the runner at third. The throw goes to second, not in time, and Arizona's going to have runners on second and third with just one out in the inning and threatening yet again as Kiki Escobar bloops one there into left field. Another look at it here as this one gets just over the head of Haley Toney. And down in front of Maya Davis. Davis came home with it immediately. There was no real chance of Daly, Molly Daly, who's come on as the pinch runner in place of Wild. That one is lifted deep to left field, to the wall. It's gone! Addie Duke with a 3-run bomb. And Arizona has jumped all over Texas Tech again. Addie Duke, the 9-hole hitter, with just her second home run of 2026, and it's 5-1 Arizona. Three base hits in the inning. Another look at Addie Duke. Went down and got this one and lifted it over that left field wall. A 2-run homer from Sydney Stewart in the first, a 3-run blast from Addie Duke here in the second. 5-1 Wildcats at Rocky Johnson Field. Popped up. What a play by Quiroga for out number 2 of the inning to record the out of Reagan Shockey. Loggy Quiroga fielding her position. The bunt popped up in the air and Quiroga able to get underneath it. That was sensational. And there's 2 away in the inning. Caitlin Terry needed that out badly. Trice swings through that one, and it's 0-2. Texas Tech facing their most significant bit of adversity, certainly since the game against Nebraska, their only other loss this year prior to yesterday. But a 9-0 loss yesterday and trailing 5-1. This is unlike anything this team has experienced in quite some time. Right at the second baseman, Mia Williams, for the line out, and the side is retired. But Arizona with 2 big blasts in each of the first 2 innings and a 5-1 lead on the road over number 2 Texas Tech. Arizona's defense behind the freshman Riley Holder. Sniffen, Beal, Trice, and Escobar left to right across the infield. Duke, Shockey, and Jenkins in the outfield, and Sydney Stewart in the battery today with the freshman Riley Holder, who's off to a solid start. Gave up the solo homer to Caitlin Terry in the second at-bat of this afternoon's game for Texas Tech, but otherwise able to work through that first inning fairly clean. She'll face Taylor Pannell to lead off the second, and now in possession of a 5-1 advantage. Changes a little bit the mentality of how you can approach hitters, throw strikes, and force the Red Raiders offense to create some action. That one is lifted to the power alley in right center, to the wall, up against the wall. It is a home run. Taylor Pannell off the top of the wall and gone. And both teams have hit homers in all 4 half innings of today's game. Taylor Panel putting a charge into that one, into that power alley in right center field, and just beyond the grasp of Grace Jenkins against that wall. And it's 5-2. Low for ball one here to Jackie Liss as Texas Tech looks to get things started on the comeback trail here against Arizona. They weren't able to do much of that yesterday. That 9-0 loss never really created a whole lot of offensive momentum even, let alone any firepower. Today a little different, but they still have a lot of work to do here on their home field. A 3-0 count though here to Jackie Liss. Ball four, a 4-pitch walk to the Texas Tech first baseman. And Longy Quiroga will come to the plate. And Arizona will talk things over a bit. Christian Conrad will come out to the circle to talk with the freshman Riley Holder. Liss gets aboard. Jerry Glasgow will have a chat with his team. This is probably a useful teaching moment for the Texas Tech head coach after his team had such a sterling start to 2026. 25-1 to begin the year, several run rule victories. More than a handful of those run rule victories in dominant fashion. Now you get into conference play. Things obviously get a little bit tougher. This is an Arizona team that certainly looks to be at or near the very top of the conference, right along with Texas Tech. Whole different animal than playing Texas A&M Corpus Christi, as was the case a couple of weeks ago when the Red Raiders were putting 24 runs on the board. This is good for his team to now get into the headspace of what life is going to be like in March and April and May, and they certainly hope well into June. Finally, a strike poured in there by Riley Holder after 5 straight had missed the zone. A 1-1 count now to Quiroga. Make it 2-1. Just low for 3-1, and Riley Holder seems to have lost the strike zone a little bit. Seven of her last 8 pitches have missed the strike zone. Will Quiroga take here on 3-1? Yes, she will. A 5-pitch walk after a 4-pitch walk to Jackie Liss. And suddenly there is a lot of traffic on the base paths for Texas Tech. Down 3. And Desi Spearman will come to the plate.
Batting for the Red Raiders, number 8, Desiree Spearman.
Spearman hitting .367, 6 homers, 25 RBI on the year, and an opportunity to bring Texas Tech right back into this game. Takes ball one, and it will be prudent for Texas Tech to continue to take pitches here from Riley Holder until she finds the strike zone again. The 1-0, way inside for ball 2. Ten of the last 11 pitches from Riley Holder have missed the strike zone. That changes right there. Strike one. It's a 2-1 count. Spearman swings away at that one over the top of it, and it's a 2-2 count. A 2-run homer from Sydney Stewart in the top of the first, a 3-run homer from Addie Duke in the top of the second, the 5 runs for Arizona. A couple of solo shots for Texas Tech. Their runs so far today, one from Caitlin Terry, one from Taylor Panel to lead off this second inning. Liss and Quiroga on second and first respectively as Spearman chops that one foul. They'll do the payoff pitch once again. Holder delivers the 3-2. Spearman puts a charge into this one, and goodbye softball. Tie game. Desi Spearman with a 3-run bomb. And just like that, it's 5-5. And ever so slightly, a smile creases across the face of Jerry Glasgow as his team pours out of the dugout. In what is just like that, a brand new game.
At the plate for the Red Raiders, number 32, Haley Tony.
Longy Quiroga almost fell over coming around third base, and Desi Spearman celebrating with her team as she ties it up. 5-5. And now Haley Tony, the sophomore, in the 9-hole. Her first plate appearance of the day. Will look to get it started once again. Takes ball one. It's a 1-1 count. Right back up the middle for a base hit. Three base hits and a pair of walks so far in the bottom half of this second inning, as Texas Tech has come back to tie it 5-5, and they'll circle back to the top of the order with Maya Davis, as Riley Holder will talk things over with her team a little further. 38 pitches so far on the day for the freshman. Couple words of encouragement from the infield, and back to work for the second time through the order against the Red Raiders. Now a little further discussion, and it does look like they are going to make a pitching change here in Lubbock. Arizona looked for a second like they were going to stick with the freshman Riley Holder, but now we will see a pitching change. Jalen Adams taking the circle when we return. Pitched Arizona to a win yesterday on this field. 5 innings, gave up just 4 hits, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts, did not give up a run. She comes on in relief here with nobody out in the second inning to face the top of the order for Texas Tech as Maya Davis steps in for the second time today. Lined out to third to lead off the game in the bottom of the first. Now here, bottom 2, suddenly a very different game, 5-5. Pokes this one foul. Taylor Panel with a solo homer to make it 5-2. Jackie Liss and Longy Quiroga both drew walks back to back. Then Desi Spearman launched a 3-run homer deep to left center field to tie the game at 5. Davis bunts this one foul. It's a 1-2 count. Haley Tony with the single. Still nobody out in the inning, and Tony stands on first. And Maya Davis looks to keep it going for Jerry Glasgow's offense. The 1-2 chop to the right side. Tough play at second base, but in time at first. Good play by Serenity Trice and Kiki Escobar to retire Maya Davis. That was not an easy play. Especially with the speed of Davis burning down that first base line.
At the plate for the Red Raiders, number 55, Caitlin Terry.
Trice able to get it over to Escobar in time. Tony, as you see there, did advance to second for Caitlin Terry with one out in the inning. Ball one low. Adams was terrific a day ago. Faced 19 batters in her 5 innings worth of work. Just 4 hits allowed, scattered them brilliantly. That one's way inside, and that's going to allow Haley Toney to scoot down to third with still only one out in the inning. And now an opportunity here for Texas Tech to perhaps take the lead. Way upstairs, Toney coming home, and she scores. The wild pitch from Riley Holder went all the way to the screen. And Sydney Stewart, despite her best efforts, couldn't get it back to home plate in time. Haley Toney taking third and home on wild pitches. And it's 6-5 Texas Tech. 5 runs across in the inning for the Red Raiders, and now a 3-0 count to Terry. Right down the middle from Jalen Adams. Adams on the year 12-3, a 2.64 ERA. The 3-1, Terry lifts this one into left field. Underneath it is Addie Duke, and there's 2 away. So 2 down in the inning, but Texas Tech has plated 5.
At the plate for the Red Raiders,
The solo homer from Taylor Panel led things off. Jackie Liss, Longy Quiroga both walked. Spearman with the 3-run bomb to tie the game at 5. Then Toney with the single. Moved to second on Maya Davis's ground out. Took third and home on wild pitches. And just like that, Texas Tech has taken the lead here in the bottom of the second. Williams struck out looking her first turn at the plate. Takes that one high and away for ball 2. And she's out in front 2-0. Williams with 10 homers on the year, hitting .461. Swinging away here, skies this one a little underneath it, and Reagan Shockey will make the catch to end the inning. But 8 Red Raiders come to the plate. 5 Red Raiders come home. And it's a 6-5 lead for Texas Tech through 2 in a wild one already here in Lubbock. Behind Caitlin Terry today. Panel, Toney, Williams, and Liss in the infield. Holloman, Davis, and Spearman in the outfield. And Longy Quiroga catching for Caitlin Terry today. Terry, a little bit of a tough start, giving up 5 runs in the first 2 innings. We haven't seen her do that much so far this season. Her ERA at 1.91. And a perfect 11-0 record. But her team has helped her get back in front in this game, 6-5. She's had a role in that, hit a solo homer herself in the first inning to help in the offensive tally for the Red Raiders. But a 5-run second inning, and Tech leads 6-5. 0-2, as swinging through that one is Taylor Beal, leading off here in the third for Arizona. Chopped foul. A tremendously important series here at Rocky Johnson Field this weekend. The 9-0 run rule victory for Arizona a night ago. Their 9th consecutive run rule victory, setting a new program record for the Wildcats. And if you know anything about Arizona softball, you know that a program record for Arizona is nothing to sneeze at. Scorching hot coming into this series and continuing it into last night's game, starting off their most important series of the regular season against the preseason pick to win the Big 12. They started today very hot, jumping out to a 5-1 lead, but Tech has now responded and leads 6-5. But Caitlin Lowe's team having a tremendous season here in 2026, now 21-5 and 4-0 to sit atop the Big 12 at the start of play today. The 2-2 fouled off once again. Beal struck out swinging first time up against Terry. The 2-2 fouled away again. Good at bat here from Taylor Beal, making Caitlin Terry work for it. Terry already up to 44 pitches here, yet to record an out in the third inning. Terry originally from Arizona, who didn't miss by much there. And it will be a 3-2 count to Taylor Beal. Terry played at Greenway High School from Glendale, Arizona, the two-time Gatorade Player of the Year in Arizona, before going to UCLA for a couple of years. This one to the right side, stabbed at first by Jackie Liss, and there's one away. Nice play down there at first by Liss, the senior from Indiana. One down for Sydney Stewart to step in. Stewart had the two-run bomb to start things off for Arizona in the first. It was her 9th home run of the year. The 0-1 from Terry, swung on and missed. Big cut from Stewart. She went chasing after the rise ball there, and it's 0-2. This is good on good right here. Fouled back. If you don't like Caitlin Terry against Sydney Stewart, you don't like softball. This is really good stuff right now. Two of the very best in the Big 12, two of the very best in the country. Mentioned earlier, Stewart hit 20 bombs a year ago for Arizona. Lifts this one to center. Going back on it, and there it is. Home run number 2 of the day. You could hear the reaction from the fans behind the plate. They knew off the bat that was going to be out of the park. 2 homers in 2 at-bats for Sydney Stewart. Now 10 on the year, and it's tied up 6-6. Sydney Stewart with the silencer. Rocky Johnson Field just went quiet. And it's 6-all. Her dad, Colin, played in the Atlanta Braves system back in the day, and you can see it with the swing that she's got. Caitlin Terry's day is done. A frustrating day for the junior. I believe that's got to be the first time we've even uttered that phrase relative to Caitlin Terry all season long. But a frustrating day for the junior, and she will be replaced in the circle. We'll introduce the new pitcher for Texas Tech after this. Over in the circle for Texas Tech and facing Grace Jenkins as her first batter of the day. Jenkins takes one low for ball 1. After Sydney Stewart just hit her 2nd home run of the day to chase Caitlin Terry from the game. Terry will now take over in left field for Logan Holloman. Just inside for ball 2 here from Lincoln. Lincoln on the year, a 1.75 ERA, a 4-0 record. "28 innings pitched in total in her appearances so far this year. And facing a dangerous hitter in Grace Jenkins, who hit the 2 homers a day ago, pours in strike one. It's a 2-1 count. Swinging through, strike 2 is Grace Jenkins. And good work by Sam Lincoln to work her way back even in the count. Rematch of the 2025 Big 12 championship game this series is. A game won by Texas Tech 4-0 last May. Lifting this one high above center field, coming forward on it is Maya Davis, and that's the second out of the inning. Jenkins is retired for the second time today. Texas Tech a year ago went 20-4 to win the Big 12 regular season title. Arizona, one of the teams that was hot on their heels, a 17-7 mark in the regular season before winning their way to the championship game to face Texas Tech. Arizona a year ago made it to Game 7 of the regional finals against Ole Miss. Lost that game 7-3. An impressive win in Game 6 over Ole Miss to force that Game 7. But couldn't quite finish the job and move on to the Super Regionals. But a very nice start here in 2026 for Caitlin Lowe's team. Lincoln gets wild to fan at that one, and it's 0-2. Wild singled in the second inning. This time hits it hard to right, but right at Desi Spearman, and that will retire the side. Sam Lincoln comes on and limits the damage. Sydney Stewart hit the solo homer to tie the game at 6, and we head to the bottom of the third. A wild one so far here at Rocky Johnson Field. Bottom third. After this, Burns, Panel, and List due up for the Red Raiders. Jalen Adams remains in the circle here for the Arizona Wildcats. It will be interesting to see through the course of today how the start of this game impacts both teams relative to their decision-making from a pitching perspective. Jalen Adams, you might imagine, had things gone differently for Riley Holder, the freshman, today. Maybe Adams would have been able to start Game 2. Will she be able to start Game 3 if she pitches the balance of this game, as it's a single through the right side from Jazzy Burns to lead things off here in the third? This the first of 2 today. 12 and 2 o'clock were the scheduled start times for these 2 games. This first game would obviously have to crank up the pace rather significantly for 2 o'clock to be the actual start time for Game 2, but a half an hour after this one comes to a close, we'll play Game 2 of this series. A pinch runner here for Texas Tech in the form of Michaela Garcia, the junior, in place of Jazzy Burns. But it will be interesting to see how Caitlin Lowe elects to use Jalen Adams, who has been sensational all through this season for the Wildcats, but has been used a lot. Would they have her pitch the final 5 innings of this, 6 innings of this game, and then come back and pitch again in the third game of the series later this afternoon? That one fouled off. 3 Wildcats gave chase there. Trice, Escobar, and Jenkins. None of them could quite get to a ball that did stay in play, just barely, but beyond the grasp of each of them. And it's merely a long strike here for Panel. Low for ball 2. Darting off of first base there for a moment was Garcia. Drew the attention of Sydney Stewart, but no throw. Janae Berry, the sophomore transfer from Indiana, certainly an option as well for Arizona in the circle. That is in time, they say, at second base. Rolling it to Trice was Taylor Beal. Unbelievable play behind that second base bag. Another look at it here. This will be a great look at it. The diving stab. Couldn't get enough on it, but able to scoot it there. Yes, in time. Really well done and well spotted behind that second base bag by Sean Schumacher. Beg your pardon, Cameron Ellison making the call. Looks like they may take another look at this to make certain, yes. Gil Zayas and company will head to review this quickly, but it did look, at least on that first replay angle we saw a moment ago, it did look like they called this correctly. It was close, but it looked like the effort from Beal to put a little extra on that as it rolled over to Serenity Trice, got it into the glove of the second baseman ahead of the slide of Michaela Garcia to record the first out of the inning, but they will take another look at this just to make sure. This will be a good look at it as well, I imagine. A little tough to see when the ball's in the glove from that angle. As you saw, Garcia come sliding in. It looks like it's there a beat ahead of the foot of Garcia. This is definitely the best look at it we've seen so far. It's very close. It is very close. But the umpires were all over it and had a great view of the bang-bang play there at second. Jerry Glasgow hoping that the call will be overturned. But I haven't seen enough on any of the angles that we've shown you guys at home that would suggest an overturn is coming. Call confirmed, runner is out. So it will be a fielder's choice that gets Taylor Panel aboard. Garcia out at second, one away here in the third inning. As Jalen Adams prepares to throw her 19th pitch of the day to Jackie Liss, who will step in for the second time this afternoon. Drew a walk, came around to score on that 3-run homer from Desi Spearman that tied this game at 5. Now takes one inside for ball one here in the third inning. Liss, the transfer from Southern Illinois, set the all-time SIU record for career homers with 44 during her 3 years with the Salukis. Three home runs so far this year for Liss. Waits on the 1-1 here from Jalen Adams and sends this one to right. Going back on it, up against the wall. Grace Jenkins plays it on a hop. It's going to be a one-out double. The throw comes home to make sure that Taylor Panel can't come around to score. But Jackie Liss puts a charge into that one, and Texas Tech's got runners at second and third with just one out in the inning. Taylor Beal with some words of encouragement for Jalen Adams before she prepares to face Longy Quiroga. She walked in the second inning as well before Spearman's homer. Now Quiroga with an opportunity to do some damage. 10 homers already on the year for the Texas Tech catcher. 29 RBI. Ball 2. Quiroga lifts this one to right. Coming forward on it is Jenkins. She'll fire home. They will send the runner. Throw is in time. Bang, bang, double play. Grace Jenkins hauls it in right and throws out Panel at home. And it stays a 6-6 game. Grace Jenkins nearly to the infield dirt when she let that one go. Panel, under the guidance of Jerry Glasgow right there, they decide to take the risk and force Arizona to make a play, but Arizona made a play. Sydney Stewart with the tag, and it stays 6-6 through 3. Out on hand today for a doubleheader between two of the top 12 teams in the country in collegiate softball, and the top 2 teams in the Big 12 based on what we've seen so far this season. All the bleachers filled up all around Rocky Johnson Field. Everybody wants to get a look at this team after what they did a season ago, going to the College World Series Finals, coming within a win of a national championship, coming into the season as arguably the favorite to win a national title here in 2026.
Number 33, Jenna
Facing their most significant bit of adversity so far this season. This weekend against Arizona, a 9-0 run rule loss a night ago, now in a 6-6 terrific game here in game 2 of the series. As we start the 4th inning, Jenna Sniffen to lead it off, bottom of the order for the Wildcats. Sniffen, Escobar, and Duke, 7, 8, 9 in the batting order for Caitlin Lowe's team. That catches the outside corner for strike 1 and a 1-1 count to the third baseman from Arizona. Sniffen's got some pop, hit 7 homers a year ago. Nice pitch from Lincoln. Some late action on that one to find the plate, and it's 1-2. 4 homers this year for Jenna Sniffen. Outside for ball 2. Texas Tech has depth in the circle. Certainly Sam Lincoln, who we're seeing come on here in relief in this game 1 of the series. To the right side, easy 4-3 put out for Mia Williams, and there's one away here in the 4th. We've seen Desi Spearman come on and pitch well at times this season.
At the plate, number 29.
Obviously Terry and Nija Kennedy, the 2 primary pitchers for the Red Raiders, and you imagine we will see Kennedy in the late game today. Low for ball 1 to Kiki Escobar. The 1-0 from Lincoln poured in there for strike 1. We've also seen a little bit of Chloe Riasetto as well in the circle. An option as well, the senior who came over here to Texas Tech with Jerry Glasgow from Louisiana. So there are options for the second-year Texas Tech head coach as they matriculate through this afternoon. The series shifted to a doubleheader today because of weather coming tomorrow here to the Lubbock area. The 1-2 to Escobar. Swung on and missed for strike 3. 2 away in the inning. And Sam Lincoln has come on and retired the first 4 Wildcats she has faced.
Batting for Wildcats, number 66, Edison Duke.
And Yes, no question. Escobar offered at that one for strike 3. Now Addie Duke steps in. Last time she was at the plate, hit a 3-run homer deep to left field to give Arizona what was at the time a 5-1 advantage in the top of the second inning. Only her second home run of the year. This one is a fair ball. And out number 3, well played by Longy Quiroga behind the plate. It's a 1-2-3, top of the 4th. And it's 6-6 still as we head to the bottom half of the 4th inning here in Lubbock. Back in Lubbock, 6-6 as we head to the bottom of the 4th. A terrific and topsy-turvy game through 3.5. And the Red Raiders will bring 8, 9, and 1 to the plate. Here in the 4th inning, Desi Spearman already with a 3-run homer on the day. Haley Toney singled in her first plate appearance. And then they'll circle back to the top of the order for Maya Davis, a rather surprising 0 for 2 so far today. A line out and a ground out for the Red Raiders center fielder, so she'll look to get her day started.
Leading off the bottom of the 4th for the Red Raiders, number 8, Desiree Spearman.
Jalen Adams so far today, 2 innings worth of work, has given up 3 hits. Yet to give up a run. She has yet to give up an earned run. She did have the wild pitch that led to a run that was scored, but that run was applied to the record of Riley Holder, the freshman who started. Strike 1 and a 1-1 count here to Spearman. That was Haley Toney who singled when Holder was still in the game. Came around to score on a couple of wild pitches. Strike 2 here to Spearman. The one hit that Adams has allowed, so that's inside and hits Desi Spearman. A hit batter to lead things off here in the 4th. Up high on that wrist, and Spearman will walk her way down to first base for Haley Toney to step in. 3 base hits in total given up by Adams. The double to Jackie List, the 1 extra base hit. Also a Jazzy Burns single. Now Toney looking to capitalize with Spearman aboard to lead off here in the 4th. Tech trailed this game 5-1. That one's bunted foul. It'll be an 0-2 count, and that will limit the options here for Toney. Chopped right back at the pitcher. Adams, no opportunity to turn 2. Takes the secure out at first and records Haley Toney. Spearman able to advance to second. Arizona came into the weekend leading the nation in double plays turned, 21 in the first 5 weeks of the season. Not able to turn 2 there, though, as that one skipped away from Adams for a moment. So Spearman stands on second as Maya Davis steps in for the 3rd time today, looking to get aboard for the first time. To the right side, that's through for a base hit. They will send Spearman coming home and sliding in safe with the lead run. Maya Davis with an RBI double, and Texas Tech's got the lead again. Aggressive base running from Texas Tech in the 3rd inning, burned them. This time they test the arm of Grace Jenkins again, and Desi Spearman slides in safe ahead of the tag.
55,
Brilliant swipe of home plate from Spearman. And it's 7-6 Texas Tech here in the fourth. And looking to keep it going is Terry, deep to center. It's gone! Caitlin Terry with her second homer of the day. This one's a 2-run blast. And it's 9-6 Texas Tech. What a start to the fourth inning for the Red Raiders. Caitlin Terry knew it immediately. Maya Davis able to saunter home with one of her easiest runs scored of the season. And Caitlin Terry with a 2-home-run day. I said it earlier, we haven't said many times this season that she's had a frustrating day. She is atoning and then some for the way things went for her in the circle this afternoon. Her second big blast of this game, and now a 9-6 advantage for Texas Tech. And still just one out in the inning. Low for ball 2 to Mia Williams, who is 0 for 2 on the day. A strikeout and a fly out to center in the first and second innings, respectively. Now a third plate appearance. Outside for ball 3. Taking all the way was Williams. It's a 3-1 count. The top 2 teams in the Big 12. Certainly in terms of perception, definitely in terms of the national rankings. A walk drawn here by Williams. And Texas Tech will look to keep this inning going. Jazzy Burns, 1 for 2 on the day. Burns is a good example of the depth of this Red Raiders lineup. She didn't play a ton the first few weeks of the season as other Red Raiders were hot in the lineup, and she was kind of waiting her turn. But Jerry Glasgow has said it all season long. There's going to be moments where players get a little bit cold, and we'll cycle somebody else into the lineup and give them an opportunity to get hot. And Jazzy Burns has certainly done that with her opportunity. You see there hitting .357, the 5 homers on the year. And that's 5 homers in just 42 at-bats. So she has made the most of her opportunities here in 2026, transferring in and adding to the depth of this Red Raiders team. Waits on the 2-0 and sends it right back up the middle. A 1-out single from Jazzy Burns. And Texas Tech has seemed to figure out at least a little bit Jalen Adams. So good a day ago against this Red Raiders lineup, scattering 4 hits and not giving up a run in that 9-0 Arizona win.
Plate for the Red Raiders, number 6.
Now Tech has got 6 hits against Adams in her 2 1/3 innings worth of work, and 3 runs have come home to score in this 4th inning to give Tech the lead. Quickly ahead, 0-2 here is Adams against Taylor Panel, who had the homer that led off the second inning that really kind of started the comeback for Texas Tech. Jackie Liss walked, Lagi Quiroga walked immediately following Panel's solo homer to lead off that second inning. And then Desi Spearman with the 3-run blast to tie the game at 5 and basically hit the reset button on what was an ugly start to the day for Texas Tech. It has been all Red Raiders since that 5-1 start for Arizona. Chopped foul. A 1-2 count here against Panel. Still only 1 out in the inning. But certainly options here for Arizona. The team, as we mentioned a moment ago, very good at turning 2 with 2 base runners aboard at first and second. A chance for that, perhaps, for Jalen Adams. Instead, this one is into left field. They will send the runner. Williams sliding home. It's 10-6. Sliding in, out at third is Jazzy Burns, but Taylor Panel with a base hit, and Tech has added to the lead. There are now 2 outs in the inning. Williams comes home, Burns out at third, but it's an RBI base hit for Taylor Panel, who stands at second base. Smoked this one into left field. And Mio Williams able to come home with the 10th run of the day for Texas Tech. And now a 4-run advantage for the Red Raiders.
0-0, Jackie Liss.
They will officially term it a single for Panel, and then advancing to second on the throw. Burns recorded as the second out of the inning at third base. So a runner at second with 2 away for Jackie Liss, and now a 10-6 advantage for Texas Tech as they have plated 4 here in the 4th inning. Gil Zayas, the most popular man in Lubbock right now after that strike call and an 0-2 count to Jackie Liss. 1-2. Liss walked and scored in the second inning, doubled in the third inning. Two and two. Arizona came flying out of the gates today. A 2-run homer from Sidney Stewart in the first, a 3-run homer from Addie Duke in the second to lead 5-1 after an inning and a half. But a 5-run bottom of the second from Texas Tech seized control back in this game. A swinging strike. The throw down to first is not in time. And coming around to score is Taylor Panel. What could have been a strikeout to end the inning, instead, an 11-6 tally. Heads up base running from Taylor Panel. Could have been the 3rd out of the inning. Instead, the throw to first hit Liss in the back. And Panel comes all the way around to score. 11-6 Red Raiders. Watch Taylor Panel looking all the way, sees that ball get away, and Jerry Glasgow says, go on. They are going to take another look at this to review, I believe, the path that Liss took to first base to determine whether there was anything out of the ordinary in that regard. I didn't explicitly look for that the first time we saw the replay, but as I recall it, nothing stuck out as out of the ordinary. But they will give this another look just to be sure. Watch the path that Liss takes here to first base. Certainly doesn't seem to leave that first base foul line. The throw from Stewart hit her square in the back, right between the double zeros, as she threw down to Kiki Escobar at first base. It will either be 11-6 with Liss striking out on a dropped third strike and reaching on the throwing error by Stewart, with Panel coming around to score, or it will be deemed a third out of the inning and it will remain 10-6. As there's no question that the run from Panel would have scored long after that ball hit Liss in the back. Here come our umpires with the review.
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. There is no running play interference. It can be on his first down or have one
Ball confirmed. The run will stand. It is 11-6, no runner interference. So Liss will remain on first. The run stays on the board, and the inning continues as Longy Quiroga represents the 9th different batter in the inning for Texas Tech.
Batting for the Red Raiders, number 4, Longy Quiroga.
Ball one outside to the Tech catcher. Quiroga 0 for 1 on the day. Walked and scored in the second inning. Flew out to right, trying to sacrifice Taylor Panel home in that inning. This time lifts this one deep to right. Coming forward on it, though, is Jenkins, and she makes the catch for the final out of the inning. 9 Red Raiders come to the plate in the fourth. 5 come home. A second 5 spot of the day for Texas Tech, and they lead it by 5 runs. 11-6 as we head to the 5th inning. Top of the 5th. 11-6, Texas Tech with the lead. A 5 spot in the second. 5 more in the bottom of the fourth. Red Raiders have seized control of this one. Back to the top of the order, though, for Arizona and Reagan Shockey. And the Wildcats already with a 2-run first inning, a 3-run second inning, and a solo homer from Sydney Stewart in the third inning, representing their 6 runs, showing they certainly have the capability to have a big inning. We'll look to do so again here in the 5th, as they have fallen into a hole for the first time in this series. Low for ball 2 to Shockey. Singled and scored in the first inning on Sydney Stewart's first home run of the day. Popped up over Longy Quiroga, the catcher, in the second inning. Samantha Lincoln has done a very nice job of settling things down here for Texas Tech and earns another out here. The ground out from Shockey, a 6-3 put out for Haley Toney. And there's one away in the 5th. Sydney Stewart hit the solo shot in the third inning, representing the 6th run of the game. It tied the game at 6-6. That was the final batter that Caitlin Terry faced today. Since then, Sam Lincoln has come on and retired 6 consecutive Arizona Wildcats. A couple of flyouts from Grace Jenkins and Anissa Wild to finish off that third inning. A 1-2-3-4. Couple of ground outs sandwiched around a strikeout of Kiki Escobar. And now the ground out from Shockey to start off this 5th inning. The sophomore out of Taunton, Massachusetts, having a terrific afternoon. What a stop by Toney! Oh, but not in time. Trice beats it out at first. The speedy second baseman with an infield single. Man, this is good softball all around. Tony with a terrific stab, a good throw to first, but Trice just faster than the operation for the Red Raiders defense. And she's aboard with a one-out single. And the first base runner against Sam Lincoln. Offering it, that one was Beal, so that's strike one. As Trice darted off at first for a moment, but returned. Beal on the day, 0 for 2, a strikeout and a ground out right to third. Now this one into center over the head of Tony for a single, and it's back-to-back base hits for the Wildcats offense. And runners on first and second with one away.
Batting for the Wildcats, number 21, Sydney Stewart.
And the ever-dangerous Sydney Stewart steps in. 2 for 2 on the day with a couple of home runs and 3 RBI. Inside for ball one from Lincoln. Certainly a batter that Lincoln will be very careful with the first time she has faced her today. Strike one. Stewart with her 9th and 10th homers of the season, now up to 46 RBI in 2026. And a batting average up over 400 at 406. And that batting average will come down a little bit. Finally, Texas Tech is able to keep her in the yard, a fly out to center field. And there's 2 away. Tara Archibald out to talk a little here with Samantha Lincoln because it doesn't get any easier. Grace Jenkins steps in now, and despite the fact that Jenkins is 0 for 2 today, she hit a pair of home runs yesterday in Arizona's 9-0 run ruling of Texas Tech in 5 innings. A 3-run homer in the 3rd inning, a grand slam in the 5th inning to help put that game away. So Jenkins, extremely dangerous in her own right. And with runners aboard, an opportunity to bring Arizona right back into this game.
Now batting number 8, Grace Jenkins.
In the dirt, quick throw down to third, not in time, and both runners will advance. Trice down to third, Taylor Beal to second. The 1-0 from Lincoln. Just low for ball 2. Jenkins, a ground out to second in the 1st inning, a fly out to center field in the 3rd inning. Three and 0. Anissa Wild due up after Jenkins. The DP, 1 for 2 on the day, did hit a solo homer of her own yesterday, going back-to-back with Jenkins in that 3rd inning. A 4-pitch walk to Grace Jenkins, and the bases are loaded for Anissa Wild. 2 outs in the inning. A 5-run lead for Texas Tech, 11-6 after a 5-run 4th inning. But Anissa Wild, again, who hit a homer a day ago, with an opportunity here, and Jerry Glasgow is going to have somebody else take on this situation. Samantha Lincoln a very solid couple innings worth of work. 2 1/3. At present has not given up a run and only gave up the 2 hits that she gave up in this inning. But leaves with the bases loaded. And Tech with a pitching change. Back after this. Takes back over in the circle with the bases loaded here in the 5th. Chop to the left side, an opportunity for Tony across the diamond in time. And Tech gets out of the bases loaded jam. Caitlin Terry, a frustrating first couple innings today. A big moment right there though for the junior. And it stays 11-6 as we head to the bottom of the 5th. Texas Tech working out of the jam in the top of the 5th. Arizona loaded the bases, but Caitlin Terry comes on to get the 6-3 ground out from Anissa Wild to end the threat. And we head to the bottom half of the 5th inning. And Desi Spearman will lead things off just as she did in the 4th inning, with her team still up 5. Spearman hit by a pitch to lead off that 4th inning. Later came around to score on the Maya Davis double. That gave Tech a 7-6 lead, only their 2nd lead of this game. Hits this one to the left side, foul. Waits on the 0-2 here from Jalen Adams. High and outside for ball 1. Will be very interesting to see what Caitlin Lowe does in the circle for game 3 of this series, which starts a half an hour after this one ends. Just outside for ball 2, and the count evens. Spearman lifts this one foul up against the netting and bounces back into the glove of Sydney Stewart. Spearman had a 3-run homer back in the 2nd inning in her 1 official AB today, the HBP, in her 2nd plate appearance. This one lifted to left. Underneath it is Addie Duke, and there's one away here in the bottom of the 5th.
Plate number 32, Haley Tony.
Haley Tony 1 for 2 on the day. Singled and scored in the 2nd inning. She came home to score what was the 6th run of the day that briefly gave Tech a 6-5 lead before Sydney Stewart hit her 2nd home run today to tie the game at 6 in the 3rd inning. Tony grounded out back to the pitcher in the 4th inning. My guess would be that we would see Janae Berry, the sophomore, the transfer from Indiana, in the circle in game 3 for Arizona, with how much Jalen Adams has had to work here in game 2. Riley Holder, the freshman, started game 2. Outside for ball 3 here to Tony. Berry, a transfer from Indiana, has faced Texas Tech before. pitched against Tech when she was with Indiana a year ago in February, as Tony draws a 5-pitch walk, and Tech's got a 1-out base runner here in the 5th. Barry went an inning and 2/3. Didn't give up a hit, didn't give up a run, struck out 2, walked none when she faced Texas Tech a year ago in what was a 7-2 Indiana loss against a similar Texas Tech lineup. She came on in relief in that game. We've got a stoppage here. I'm not sure what the umpires are trying to figure out. They're saying to either put something down or turn something down. Oh, it's the sign. I wonder if there's a reflection off of the sign with how sunny a day it is here at Rocky Johnson Field. They're saying that big double T sign needs to be put away. Perhaps the sun at just the right angle, that the reflection off of that sign was catching somebody, either a player or an umpire or someone, in the face. Maya Davis, the RBI double. Beg your pardon, officially they termed it a single. She made her way around to second in the 4th inning on the throw. Part of that 5-run 4th inning for the Red Raiders. Swings through this one, it gets away. Tony will scamper down to second, but head back as that one was fouled off by Davis. It's a 1-1 count. Davis with a .489 batting average. It's March 14th. Like, the season is approaching the halfway point, and she's still batting nearly .500 on the year. Lifts this one high over left field, right near the foul line. An easy catch for Addison Duke, and there's 2 away. And speaking of the fact that it's March 14th and the season is approaching halfway done, Caitlin Terry's batting .576. Outrageous. 2 home runs on the day. A solo shot in the 1st, a 2-run bomb in the 4th. We've got at the very least a discussion here in the circle for Arizona, as Christian Conrad has made his way out. You see there Sarah Wright getting herself loose in the bullpen at the very least for Arizona. There was another arm warming out there for the Wildcats as well. 2 outs here in the 5th. And it looks like Adams will remain in the circle to face Caitlin Terry.
At the plate for the Red Raiders, number 55, Caitlin Terry.
A homer to left in the 1st, a homer to second in the 4th. Takes ball 1 inside with Haley Toney, the runner, on first base. We'll see whether or not Jerry Glasgow leaves Terry in the circle when they come back for the top of the 6th inning. The 2-0 from Jalen Adams. Low for ball 3, and Adams gave a little bit of a longer look in at that one. Thought maybe that was just at knee level for Caitlin Terry. Instead, it's outside the zone, and Terry way out in front here. Taking all the way, ball 4. 2 runners aboard here for Texas Tech. And now the theoretical possibility for Mia Williams to end the game right here.
Batting for the Red Raiders, number 1, Mia Williams.
Williams on the day, 0 for 2. Drew a walk and scored in the 4th inning. Takes outside for ball 1 here from Adams, who's now up to 72 pitches on the day. Ball 2. Williams, as you see there, no stranger to the long ball. 10 bombs on the season and a .455 batting average. That hit her. And the bases will be loaded for Texas Tech here in the 5th. Haley Toney on 3rd, Caitlin Terry on 2nd, Mia Williams on 1st. Back-to-back innings with a hit batter for Texas Tech as that catches the elbow. Spearman was hit to lead off the 4th inning. And now Jazzy Burns will step in. And now that may be the end of the day for Jalen Adams in the circle. The Wildcats will make a change here with 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th. And the bases loaded for Texas Tech. Where we see Janae Berry, the transfer from Indiana. Pitched in 25 games a year ago for the Hoosiers. Transferring into this Arizona program in the offseason. So far this year, a 1-0 record, 22 innings pitched. A 5.87 ERA, and she comes on here with the bases loaded in the bottom half of the 5th inning. And Jazzy Burns coming to the plate for the Red Raiders. Texas Tech facing the outside possibility of ending this game right here in the 5th inning if they could plate 3 more.
At the plate for the Red Raiders, number 12, Jasmine
After
Burns.
a 9-0 Arizona win a day ago and a 5-1 Wildcat lead to start today. Since then, it has been all Texas Tech. Berry starts Burns with a strike right down the middle. Burns right up the middle, right past the glove of Berry. 1 run home to score, 2 runs home to score. The ball gets away. Runners will advance to 2nd and 3rd and hold there. And it is 13-6 Texas Tech as Jazzy Burns drives in a pair. Haley Toney able to come home and score easily. Caitlin Terry sliding in safe at home through the tag as the ball got away from Sydney Stewart.
Batting for the Red Raiders, number 6, Taylor.
Mia Williams advancing to 3rd. And Burns stands on 2nd as now Taylor Panel steps in. A 7-run lead for Texas Tech. 1 more base hit would end it right here. Outside for ball 2. Panel with a homer, a single, also reached via a fielder's choice in this game. That is inside for ball 3. Jackie Liss waits in the on-deck circle. The 3-0 from Janae Berry in there for strike 1. Quite the answer from Texas Tech today. Ball 4. They will double check whether or not she swung at that one. Not at all. Panel with the walk. Bases are loaded yet again for Jackie Liss, who is the 8th Red Raider batter of the inning.
At the plate for the Red Raiders, 0-0.
And will
Jackie
assuredly
Bliss.
be the final Red Raider batter of the inning, because either she'll be recorded as the third out, or if she gets aboard, a run will have scored and the game will be over. Strike one from Barry. Bliss on the day, a double in the third inning after she walked and scored in the second, struck out but reached base in the fourth inning. Strike two. The 0-2 from Janae Barry. Outside for ball one as Sid Stewart set up way outside, trying to draw an errant swing from Liss. Liss tops this one to short. Tough play to first. In time for the third out of the inning. Taylor Beal with the 6-3 putout, and we will head to the sixth inning just barely. 13-6. Tech with the lead through 5. Texas Tech has now blown open 2 more runs in the bottom of the 5th inning to make it 13-6, and Caitlin Terry indeed will continue pitching for the Red Raiders. Bottom of the order due up for the Arizona Wildcats. Jenna Sniffen, Kiki Escobar, Addie Duke, 7, 8, 9. And instead it is a pinch hitter here. Talay Jennings will come on and hit in place of Jenna Sniffen. Jennings takes ball one upstairs. So Sniffen went 0 for 2, a couple of ground outs. The 1-1 to Jennings, the junior from San Pedro, California. Spent a couple of years at San Diego before transferring in to the Wildcats program. Waits on the 2-1 here from Caitlin Terry, who started the day. Strike two. Had a frustrating first couple innings as Arizona touched her up for 6 runs in the first 2 1/3. Couple of Sydney Stewart home runs. The 2 biggest, most notable elements of that damage. Addie Duke with a 3-run homer of her own. Strikeout here for Terry of Jennings to start off this 6th inning. But Terry has now returned to the circle after a couple of very nice innings from Samantha Lincoln. The Red Raiders sophomore came on to steady the waters as Tech's offense got things rolling and built up this lead. Terry came on with the bases loaded in the 5th inning and got Anissa Wild to ground out to end the threat, and now continues on here in the 6th and is pouring in strikes now to Jennings and then Kiki Escobar, who has just stepped in. Game 2 of this series will start a half an hour after this one ends. This one grounded to the right side. An easy play at second base for Mia Williams, and there's 2 away. So Addie Duke, the last chance for Arizona here in this 6th inning. When she hit a 3-run homer in the 2nd inning, she put Arizona up 5-1. And that was coming on the heels of Arizona's 9-0 win over Texas Tech last night in a 5-inning run ruling of the Red Raiders. As much adversity as we have seen Jerry Glasgow's team face, perhaps in his tenure here in Lubbock, certainly in a regular season context at the very least. Quite a response to that adversity today from Glasgow's team through the balance of Game 2 of the series. We'll see what Game 3 holds here in a little over a half hour's time. But since falling down 5-1, they have outscored Arizona 12-1. Caitlin Terry, part of that mix. A couple of home runs on the day. The 2-2 chop to the right side. Easy play right behind the bag. They're going to say is a foul ball. Jackie List thought she had out number 3 here in the 6th. Instead, one more crack at it here for Addie Duke in a 2-2 count. Now the inning's over. Strike 3 as Duke did offer at it. The appeal down to third base from Gilzayas to confirm it is a strikeout and the 6th is over. We head to the bottom half of the inning with Texas Tech up 7. 5 spots on the board for Texas Tech this afternoon in game 1 of the doubleheader, game 2 of the series. 2nd inning and 4th inning. 5-run performances from these Red Raiders to build a 13-6 advantage on Arizona and dig themselves out of what was at one point a 5-1 hole. And now the bottom third of the order comes to the plate. Longy Quiroga to lead things off here in the bottom of the 6th. Takes one way up and outside from Janae Barry. Barry coming on here late in that 5th inning and on into the 6th. We'll see what that means in the circle for Arizona for game 3 of this series. Strike 2 from Janae Barry. And I beg your pardon, it is Lauren Allred who has come on and pinch hit. I didn't have a good angle at who was there in the batter's box, but it is a pinch hitter here for Quiroga as Lauren Allred is at the plate for the Red Raiders. And Allred swinging away at this one, lifts it deep to left. This has got a chance to end the game, and she does! A solo home run from Lauren Allred to end it in game 1 of the doubleheader. (14-6) Texas Tech with the win. They trailed this game 5-1, and they run rule Arizona in the bottom of the 6th inning. Lauren Allred with the pinch hit solo bomb to left. And Texas Tech has pulled level in the series with Arizona at a game apiece as we get ready for the 2nd half of the doubleheader coming your way in a half hour's time. For our entire ESPN crew, I'm Mike Leslie saying so long from Lubbock. 14-6 the final score for Texas Tech. Runs in 5 of their 6 innings today to get the win over Arizona and set up the rubber match. We'll see you in a half an hour.